Hello everybody, my name is G8RStreams, and welcome to today's G8RStreams. Today we'll be editing a couple videos, more specifically episode 13 of Splatoon 2 Majora's Mask 3D, and we're also going to be editing the footage for the Captain Toad Treasure Tracker Nintendo Switch finale. That video is going to be a bit more of a special circumstance, but we'll get to that a little bit later. And towards the end of the stream, we're also going to be editing the first of the 12 Days of Gaming videos for 2019. So that's something that's going to be pretty exciting. I haven't announced the official lineup yet, and to be completely honest, at the time that I'm recording this video, I haven't actually just fully decided on every game that will be included this year. But there's one game in particular that I recorded today. I was pretty happy with it, so I'm going to use it for today's G8RStream 12 Days of Gaming thingy. Alright. So just going to do a quick test to see if the computer volume doesn't drown out my voice like it did with the beginning of the E3 reaction video. Alright, so let's see if this is working. I got the gameplay going. So if it is...
I could really use some more data on this weapon. Can you use it for a bit?
The computer audio.
Looks like Windows.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely turn on the computer volume. Alright, might also be helpful if you could see the computer. There we go. Alright, so we're gonna be editing a Splatoon 2 video first, and that's gonna be something that's pretty exciting. So, the thing about Splatoon is that this Let's Play is being recorded in two different recording sessions for the most part. Whenever I'm playing through the game, there's an Octal Canyon recording session, which is what this timeline is right here, and there's also a multiplayer session which is recorded separately, just simply due to the fact that Splatoon 2's stage rotation system makes it a little bit hard to record sometimes, so I don't always have the time to do that. There is one more thing I need to take care of, so I'm just gonna hide the PC screen real quick. And there we go. Alright, so I was trying to take care of something because I had the footage for the stream up on my computer, and I figured that's probably not the best idea ever because I don't want the stream to lag or anything like that. So this is my folder for Splatoon 2 stuff. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this folder. This is a pretty big project. I believe we're on online session number 4 for this recording session. So we're gonna take care of that. And while that's doing all the good stuff, people watching the stream, let me know if the game audio is too loud for the stream or anything like that. But without further ado, let's go. Actually, I'm going to turn on my volume just a little bit because it's a little loud.
Hey everybody, I'm G8RStreams, and welcome back to Let's Play Splatoon 2. In the previous episode, we conquered the Octo Resort Spring and Dancing Floors, and today's episode, we're going to be going towards the parking garage. Ooh, what's more scary than a parking garage? Nothing!
So one thing that I have to say that I absolutely love about Hit Film, and this seems like such a minor thing compared to a bunch of other editing programs, but Windows Movie Maker did not have these little bar thingies on the audio tracks, and that made editing the audio a little complicated at times, so that's something that I really appreciate about Hit Film. So now I get to see exactly where my commentary starts again, and I can remove that. Another thing that I really appreciate, Windows Movie Maker, whenever you delete a file, it will jump right over here and snap to the end of the previous one. But Hit Film, it stays there. It stays there like a good little editing program. It is a good little editing program.
Garage, nothing!
I could probably turn up the audio right there. because I really like the sound effect of the loading screens in this game. Alright, so we'll slice that up and then turn the audio up right there, and we'll see how that sounds.
Then a parking garage, nothing! I could really use some more data on this weapon. Can you use it for a bit? Looks like one of those sprinklers is on your way. So, can I just say something real quick? How does Sheldon know exactly what weapon we're gonna need? Because if it weren't for the sniper weapon, a lot of this would be way more difficult. Is Sheldon in on with the Octarians? Is he one of them? Is he a spy for the Octarians? It all makes sense now. Sheldon has been evil this entire time. He must be destroyed. Enough silliness aside. This is actually one of my personal favorite levels. In fact, I mean...
One thing that I want to say real quick about hit film is that, for whatever reason, the bars do take a little bit to actually load in. So it's something that's a little bit weird. And one thing that I'm honestly not a big fan about with hit film is that on Windows Movie Maker, I usually have like a notepad file pulled up so I could just work on writing stuff while listening to the video. But if I have any other things, if I'm using anything else aside from playing the video, then the video would automatically pause, and I don't know how to disable that.
Go as far as to say that this is my absolute favorite sniper level. Pro tip: always find a safe location to retreat before you engage. Do what I say, not what I do. Remind me never to get my car washed here. Okay, real talk. One of my ultimate life goals is to be able to go on a car wash and be outside of the car. I've always wanted to try that, but I've always been too chicken to actually try it out for myself. And believe me, I've had some really weird things on my bucket list. Like I like the Eiffel Tower and things like that. So yeah, I have some really weird things on my bucket list. But someday I'll go to a car wash and be outside of the car, and it'll be awesome.
Before anybody asks, yes, I did actually like the Eiffel Tower. I believe I posted a picture on Twitter somewhere, so if you dig around there, then you'll eventually find a picture of it.
Is there anything else over there? You may notice that my techniques for sniper weapons is not the best thing in the world because I usually just spam the button rather than holding a charge or anything like that. So that's pretty fun. So over here, this is Octo Sniper guarding the vault. Yeah, we're out of range for the sniper, so there's nothing we can do about that for now. But at some point in this level, we'll be able to take care of that little punk.
I gotta say, I'm really glad the hit film's not lagging or anything like that, because that was a big concern that I had with doing this stream. Because the first time they ever tried doing an editing stream, it was for, I believe, the third episode of 2 Year Anniversary during the Trilogy project. I had Sony Movie Studio and OBS running at the same time. And Sony Movie Studio lagged like crazy. I couldn't even get it to work, and the stream eventually crashed. And that wasn't a very pleasant experience, so I'm very happy the hit film seems to be working much better than Sony Movie Studio ever did.
And there we go. You just get near that Octo Sniper somehow.
Okay, I'm gonna edit out that part right there, because I made a weird noise. Can I zoom in? There we go.
Just get near that Octo Sniper somehow.
Alright, that should be good enough. There we go. One advice I can recommend for editors out there, Control S is probably your best friend ever, because it is such a pain in the butt whenever your program crashes and you have to redo like hours of work on a video. So Control S is your best friend ever.
You just get near that Octo Sniper somehow. I love how the Octarians, when they're under the ink, they have snorkels on them. That's so cute. I love that detail. This goes into what I was saying a couple videos ago, how I was praising the consistency of the good character design in this game. Like, you have Octarians that have snorkels on them. It's just so cute. So, for the first collectible we'll be collecting in our adventures through this episode, it's over here. Good job on the thing you just did. I was totally paying attention. Sorry you were.
I always love that dialogue right there.
Sorry you were. Alright, over here. Sardinium is not going to be in this area, so don't worry about that. Instead, boom! We defeated the Octarian person thingy. And almost said Octoling, but then I didn't.
Alright.
Go to the vault, and jump this way.
I was thinking about cutting out that part right there, but the thing is, I was thinking about cutting out that part because what am I trying to say? My old microphone would have like static if there is no sound or anything like that, so I'd usually have to try to edit out as much of that as I possibly could. But this microphone seems to be a lot better about that, so you don't really hear background noise too much, and if it does, then the game audio usually drowns it out, which is pretty nice.
So this right here is pretty interesting because I remember watching a video, I think the person's name was Game Over Jesse or something like that, but they were making a video talking about whether or not it was possible to complete the Splatoon games, the story modes, without finding any ink. And I believe it was possible for the first game, but this was a level that made it impossible for the second one, because of the switches that we'll be seeing in a moment. You have to fire them with your... Ooh, okay, that thing. That thing right there is a ticket you can use on something we'll be talking about in the... Those tickets right there, they could be used for a restaurant in Nicopolis Square. The restaurant could be used to make you level up quicker or gain more money from battles and things like that. We'll be going more in detail about that in the Nicopolis Square episode we'll eventually have at some point during this Let's Play, which probably won't be for a little while. But, we go over here, and...
I say a little while in the video, but in all honesty, it's probably going to happen during the next break between worlds. So after we beat the boss of Beaker's Depot, those two intermission episodes, one of them is probably going to be Nicopolis Square Tour.
And going back to the switches I was talking about a moment ago, the switches, you can only really activate them with the sniper weapon, and the big goal they were trying to do was use only stealth weapons to beat the entire single-player campaign, but they unfortunately cannot be activated with anything but the sniper weapon. I'm surprised they haven't broken any bones. Well, squids don't have bones, never mind. I gotta ask, if everybody in town is an inkling or some form of fish or vertebrae or anything like that, how do they even know what a bone is? And we have to go around the long way. Yay, that's fun.
Alright, so now I can start off something else that's pretty neat about id film. How to do transitions. So that's going to be something that's pretty fun. So now, go over here. Take this part. And then delete this part of the video. Ooh, spooky. And right here, this took a little bit of time to get used to how this works, but the hit film effects are done over here. There's transition video and audio. What I usually like doing is there's a cross dissolve right here, and that seems to work pretty well. For whatever reason, I can't seem to control... Wait, I can. Oh, I can control that. That's pretty cool. For whatever reason, I thought you couldn't, but you can control that, so that's pretty nice. There's also a crossfade right there. I don't think I need to do that for the commentary, though. So, let's see how well that works.
Fish or vertebrae or anything like that, how do they even know what a bone is? And we have to go around the long way. Yay, that's fun. Hooray for unneeded editing, because...
The thing about hit film, though, is that on the preview, it seems to lag a little bit during transitions, so I usually go frame by frame on these to make sure that they're working properly. So far, so good. I haven't had any problems with it, but I just like to make sure. Alright, seems to be working okay.
Hooray for unneeded editing, because it was right over here and I just felt like editing right there. I like editing, don't criticize me. Alright, the final checkpoint. That is not a block, that is a wall. Blocks and walls are very different things. Ready, ceiling. One down, one to go. So sorry, Octolings, I don't want to have to do this, but it's the only way we can progress to the main story. You over there? And... You're too far away. Come on. Come on. Come on. Be destroyed. Come on, be destroyed already.
I tell I'm very bad at sniper weapons.
Why is this one I'm having trouble with? There we go. I like when you destroy the Octolings and the key appears, the key just suddenly poofs in existence and things like that. It's pretty amusing. So I believe the Sardinium is around here somewhere. I'm gonna go to contact with the car. Yep, it's right there. That was too hard. Especially considering the fact that it had a beacon lit so we could see where it was located at. Okay, I didn't do this on purpose, but it looks like this is an arrow pointing at the special weapon.
I forgot about that. That's awesome.
That was awesome. Alright, activate the key, go over here, and swim for freedom. Destroy these. Boom. And missed. Oh, we got it anyway. Yay! And we're gonna use this special to destroy it. Come on, come on. Please work, please work, please work. I didn't do anything at all. That was rude.
Right, so because we're quiet here for a little while, I'm gonna slice up these parts, and then we can turn the volume in a moment. Get rid of that. Turn up the volume, and see how well that works.
Please work, please work, please work. I didn't do anything at all. That was rude.
One thing that I gotta say that I kind of have a hard time with on hit film is that the audio seems to either be too high or too low, and it's very hard to find a perfect middle ground on the audio tracks. It's taking a little bit to get used to, but I think I'm getting the hang of it. I'm still fairly new to hit film. I haven't learned all of its secret techniques or anything like that. There's still some fancy editing things I need to figure out. Like for one, the big thing that I'm trying to figure out on hit film is how to make the camera zoom in or pan around and things like that. That was fairly easy to do on Windows Movie Maker, but I haven't figured out how to do that on hit film. So if anybody watching this is familiar with hit film, let me know if there's any way you can pan the video or zoom it or anything like that.
Try showing this to crusty scene in the square. It'll be worth your while. The latest research has produced startling revelations about Inkling ink. Once not to simply disappear after a while, Inkling ink is actually rapidly disintegrated by airborne microbes. Intriguing. Next today's just knowledge to use /knowledge. And now we'll be going towards level 15. Octoling Assault, I'll pump check it up. Octoling Assault, I'll pump check it up.
Alright.
Level 15. Octoling Assault, I'll pump check it up.
Sorry if I'm not talking that much during this stream. I just realized that I haven't been pretty silent this time around. The thing is, I'm focusing more on the editing than anything else. So if there's anybody in the stream chat right now, sorry if I've been ignoring your comments or anything like that. It's just I'm focusing more on streaming than anything else this time around. It's like usually when I stream a game like Link's Awakening or Let's Record Super Mario 3D Land or Ocarina of Time 3D or something like that, Usually I'm just half paying attention to the game and half paying attention to the stream chat thing, but I'm just focusing more on editing than anything else because I want to make sure these videos don't suck.
And now, we're gonna have to fight the Octolings on Humpback Pump Track. I don't know exactly off the top of my head if we've seen this stage before in the online multiplayer portions of this Let's Play. I don't like this stage at all. Humpback Pump Track is honestly one of my least favorite stages in the game. I often go back and forth between whether or not this one or Port Mackerel is my least favorite between two. The Port Mackerel in the first game, that's my absolute least favorite stage in the entire series. But in this game, Humpback Pump Track comes very, very close. I don't like this stage. I know some people do, and I won't harp on it too much because I know that there are people out there who do like this stage. I'm just not one of those people. There's a key over there. We want to save that key for something we're going to be seeing a little bit later because... Actually, now that I think about it, we just go for it right now. We're going to be doing those things. This way. I think it's over here. Yep, it's over there. So these were lineums, I think would be pretty helpful for getting around the stages. They're not there in the online multiplayer mode, but they were there in the Splatfest stage, which is pretty nice. But they're pretty useful for getting around this area because this stage can be a little bit tricky to navigate. Alright. Ah, that was painful. No. I'd be in the box. I'd be in the box. This box is my friend. I'm perfectly content living the rest of my life right here. I'm bored. I'm gonna move it.
I know it's lame to laugh at my own jokes, but...
And now we got the Sardinium, and I believe the second scroll is right here. Yay! That wasn't too hard. Why did they come here with a sniper weapon? Alright. I don't think this is one of those weapons where you absolutely need to use a weapon, but I guess we're using a sniper for Humpback Pump Track, which is not a good combination. Well, actually, you know what? This probably is a good combination in practical sense, because the way the Humpback Pump Track works is everything is pretty well open, which makes this a pretty good sniper city. That's a big reason why I don't like this stage. Which may seem a little bit confusing considering I've gone on record multiple times saying Mori Tower is my favorite stage, even though that's considered the sniper city of the series. But, personally speaking, the reason why I like Mori Towers is because there's a lot more... It's a lot easier to avoid the snipers in that stage than it is on Humpback Pump Track. You probably consider this the stage equivalent of Museum d'Alfonsino in that sense, because it's also very easy to use a sniper weapon on Museum d'Alfonsino in the first game.
If you want an example of what I was talking about right there, Museum d'Alfonsino, if you haven't played the first game, that was also a fairly open stage as well. There were a couple platforms, and there was one in the center that I believe also spun around for a bit. It was a really fun stage, and I really liked that one, but if you were an E-Leader on that stage, you were pretty broken, because the E-Leader was able to shoot across the entirety of the central area, which made it so that you pretty much had nowhere to hide if you were up against an E-Leader on Museum d'Alfonsino. And this was also before a time where Brellas or dualies were a thing, because with dualies, if you can see the E-Leader, then you can at least dodge out of the way. And with the Brellas, you can use the umbrella part of the weapon to shoot yourself from that. But this was also in the first game before those were a thing, so that's one thing that was kind of a big problem with that one. Now at this stage, the reason why I don't like this one, but I like Museum d'Alfonsino, is that Humpback Pump Track. There aren't really a whole lot of places to hide from snipers, and that's a big problem they have.
No, that for me. Okay. I don't know why we didn't get this one over here, but alright, let's go. You guys look at those disruptors right there. I believe that is a weapon, a sub-weapon you can use in the online multiplayer mode. Basically how it works is it kind of slows down your opponent's movement and things like that. I don't really use it a whole lot, but I think that's how it works. Like I said several times over Let's Play, we will have dedicated videos for going over sub-weapons and special weapons and things like that. But not right now. Owie, that hurt. Alright, well, we only have one Zapdos to find. Luckily, I know exactly where it is. It's off in the distance, and it's going to be amazing and shiny. It's going to taste like chocolate. I still want chocolate. Destroy this thing. We're almost there. We're almost there. We're almost there. Come on. We're almost there. Just ignore all the octolings. Ignore the octolings. Ignore octolings. Envy for me. Yes! That's the second time that we've played an octoling level where we didn't have any armor at the end. If this becomes a running trend, then okay.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna remove that part.
Didn't have any armor.
That sentence kind of went nowhere.
Or at the end.
Yeah, I kind of admit that I have a bit of a bad habit of starting a sentence and kind of losing my train of thought, and that was the case with that one. So that's the reason why I'm editing out that part.
Level where we didn't have any.
Let's turn up the volume right there, and let's go.
That's the second time that we've played an octoling level where we didn't have any armor at the end. Don't slip up and miss the new album from by Wet Floor, on sale now. Their style changes like the shifting tides of ink in a battle. Full color of monochromatic, smooth, or staccato, never heard of that word before, or lush and dripping with sound. It's rock for a new generation. If they're the band that I'm thinking of, I think I like their music in Splatoon 2. I don't remember off the top of my head because the only one that matters is Marina. But yeah, that's going to be it for the Octo Canyon portion of this episode. So next time, we'll be taking on the boss of Baker's Depot. But now as for the rest of this episode, we're going into the magical land of alternate save files. So without further ado, let's go! Eevee and Pikachu.
Alright, so this is a pretty interesting part to mention. This is a place where I'm going to take these files, move them on over here. Let's move them just a little bit further. There we go. We're going to save this file, delete all of these, and then save as a separate project. Okay, I got really nervous about that for a moment because, admittedly, I was also working on a upcoming project that we haven't announced yet on game, and I was really worried that was going to show the folder for that, so I'm really glad that didn't happen. Save that as episode 14, and now this episode, we can get started on that later. We're not going to be doing that on stream, but now we can open up episode 13 and continue working on that. So while we do that, that's also, I don't know why all these dumb pop-ups are on hit film. I don't like that. While we take care of that, I'm going to look over the chat because I haven't done that in a while. Hello, Bank Garmin. No, you're just in time. We've only started editing the first part of the video, so you're just in time. How you doing today? So, what else is next? I believe it's episode 4 we're doing next. Alright, so I'm going to explain this real quick. To do that, I'm going to need to open up this folder to show this thing. I don't know why that's still there because I don't need that footage anymore. But like I mentioned before, the different recording sessions for recording on multiplayer things, those are done separately from Octo Canyon. So this is the reason why this is a separate recording file than Octo Canyon. These different sessions are pretty much for different ranked battle modes and things like that. So Online Session 3 was what we did in episode 12, where this was the Tower Control episode. And Online Session number 4 was for Rainmaker. I mislabeled my files, and these were not supposed to be an added post commentary file thingy. But Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm very redundant to my sentences, aren't I? Pay Garment says, I just got done shopping. Yay! Open those up and... Did you already have those in there? Yes, we did. Okay, so we can just get rid of that. Open up the thing. Alright, and open up this thing. Alright, so this is another thing that's kind of weird about Sony Movie Studio. Not Sony Movie Studio, Hit Film. I don't know why it does this, but for whatever reason, when I start editing a project and put a video file in there, it zooms in really close like this. So, to fix that, we can fit it to frame. That's pretty neat. And I gotta do this for the individual videos as well, and it's kind of obnoxious. So, I made some mental notes for myself on this recording session in particular. The first couple matches were a complete disaster, so I'm not using those video footage things. And also a bit of a fair warning. When I play online games, my filter is not the best in the world, so if I forget that I slipped up in a video and it shows up on stream, I greatly apologize. But if I'm remembering correctly, the footage we are going to be using for this video doesn't have any problems like that. I haven't had a ton of problems like that, but my filter wasn't nearly as good as it could have been for the first couple Rainmaker footage video things, so that's the reason why I'm not going to be using those at all. So right here, I'm pretty sure I've shown my process of syncing up videos before. Right. And thankfully, we have those bar thingies, which can make it easier to say, tell when we start the commentary thing. Three. Three, two, one, go. Please won't be a freaking disaster like last. Yeah, you can kind of hear me mumbling right there. I'm kind of mumbling to myself in frustration over the previous attempt to try and record this. I do apologize for that. Pink Garment says that your layout is different from mine. My headphone layout, I use both screens. What do you mean by that? I know this layout is a bit different than HitFilm's. Okay. You know, that's actually a really good point. I'm going to explain my layout for this. This is now the default layout for HitFilm. I believe the video is over here when it starts off. And something else is over here. I believe this is a just shows you another video footage thingy. Oh, both screens. That's what you mean. There are two video footage things that appear on both of these. The reason I don't have that on mine is because I found it a bit redundant to have both of them on the same time when I wasn't reusing the one on the left very often. This over here is how I edit text. So there's a little option right here to add text on screen. So I could just do that and say Link's Awakening hype. There. So this is something that's pretty neat. I can do that. And if I want it to be on the center of the screen, I can go like that. If I need to move it around, if I need to be in the center like that, I can do that, move it around. And if I need the text to be bold or a different color, then I can just go over here. This is something that's really neat, and I've noticed that not a lot of people really know that there's text options on HitFilm. Because I was asking the Attack artist about this, and when I was asking her advice for HitFilm, she said that you couldn't edit text on screen, but you can. So I'm not entirely sure if she knows about this, so that's something that's pretty neat. And of course, we have to have the off-the-hook segment at the beginning of the video. Delete that, delete that. So this is a trick that I like doing to move a bunch of stuff at once. I control copy that, delete everything, and then I move to the part of the video that I want everything to appear on. And then this will click and drag everything automatically. So that's something that's pretty neat. Saves a lot of time in the long run. Doesn't seem like it right now, but trust me, it really does help. It's right there. It's a little too high. Don't bother me if it's not perfect. I don't need this commentary track to be turned down, but I'm just using it to help sync up this one, so it's more even along these lines. And it's also put in a transition effect. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, feel free to let me know. I'm not an expert at this by any means, but I still like to think that I'm decent at editing, considering I've been doing this for 7 years. I also don't like how it automatically jumps to the control panel when you put it in a transition effect or anything like that. Control save and play.
Hello, Eevee and Pikachu. Yeah, I know what time it is. It's Off the Hook, coming at you live from Megapolis Square. Check it, here are the current regular battle stages. Membership to this place will cost an arm and a leg. Yeah, but at least the arm and leg will get jacked. And those are the current ranked battle stages. Oh, I'm really sleepy today. What stage is this again? Wake up, Pearl! Here are the league battle stages. This place is haunted. Sometimes I get cooked from above out of nowhere. Pretty sure there's a Sorcerer players spotting you above the walls. And now a word from our sponsor. Grisco Industries is now hiring. Let's work a summer on shift later, Pearl. And that's all the time we've got. Until next time, don't get cooked, stay off the hook.
Alright, so let's remove the commentary for this. And then right here is where I usually do a transition. It'll make sense in a moment. But for now, I'm going to jump cut ahead. I'm going to turn down the audio right here. So I know I've said that at the beginning of the Let's Play that I'm going to try to make a better balance between showing off footage of me winning and me losing. But to be completely honest, the footage of me losing for this recording session wasn't really all that worth saving. So I'm just going to jump ahead to footage of me winning, because I remember those ones were really intense and there's still some pretty great moments in there. Okay, so I believe this is the first one I'm thinking of. Get rid of those. And also, one thing that's worth mentioning is that this drags on for a little bit longer, even though the video didn't. Because I was also trying to record some footage of another mode in this area, but that was also a complete disaster. This is just like a very off day for me when I was recording that footage. So that's kind of the reason why I'm kind of just skipping ahead of a lot of stuff. Pink Garment says, I really like hit film, but I do wish render times were a lot faster. That's another really good point I'd like to make, is that the render times on most editing programs aren't the greatest in the world. But I have to say, hit film, you are amazing compared to... Why is it dragging right there? Did I figure anything else? No, I didn't. Okay. Hit film is amazing compared to a lot of the other things I've had to deal with. Windows Movie Maker, it was a decent program, but the thing with that one was that it also kind of took longer to to render those videos. The more complicated they got over the years. Like an Earthbound video will take several hours to render. Not too bad, but probably like 2 hours or so to render a 20-30 minute video, but there were also longer videos in Earthbound. I believe the longest was about 40 minutes, and I believe that was a Starman Base episode. And the really weird thing is, Windows Movie Maker also had a really hard time with gaming gallery episodes. There were a lot of really complicated edits in that one, and I guess it was too much for Movie Maker occasionally because it would crash so many times when I tried rendering videos on Movie Maker. Which is why I'm really glad that I'm using HitFilm now, because at most the most I've run into was like a 5-hour video for a versus video that I'm working on for game. Not being as vague as possible. I'm being as vague as possible to avoid spoilers, but it makes sense why that one was a 5-hour long render, and that is still better than Sony Movie Studio, because there was, not even joking, a 12-minute video that took 17 hours to render. Yeah, don't use Sony Movie Studio, it is a trap. Alright, let's do this. Pink Armor says, I gotta go, but watch the stream again later. Bye. Thank you for coming. Just a little reminder for people watching the stream, or anything like that. If you can't make the stream or anything like that, the full video will be available right after we're done. So we're going to be editing Splatoon 2 video, Majora's Mask 3D a little bit later, and then Captain Toad Switch footage, and then a 12 Days of Gaming episode towards the end of the stream. Oh, right, I need to turn the audio for that back on. And I need to put a transition right here. Crossfade on audio. Cross dissolve on footage.
And now a word from our sponsor. Grisco Industries is now hiring. Let's work a summer on shift later, bro. And that's all the time we've got. Until next time, don't get cooked, stay off the hook.
I do not need that footage. That is the lobby. I don't need lobby footage. The unfortunate thing about this is that if I delete this, the cross transition effects will go away too. And that's not exactly the best thing in the world because I have to do this again. But it's not like it's a huge inconvenience. So I need to be zoomed in a little closer so I can see that better.
And that's all the time we've got. Until next time, don't get cooked, stay off the hook.
I will say I probably could trim that a little bit more. Trim off a few more seconds of this so that the background of that noise doesn't appear. Ah, no, that's not the footage I wanted to delete. This is the footage I want to delete. There we go. Okie dokie. Crossfade. Cross dissolve. Hopefully that works better.
Don't get cooked, stay off the hook. Can I please play one round of Rainmaker that's not a complete disaster? That's all I'm asking, just one round.
So I'm probably going to need to turn on the online portion because the online multiplayer is a bit louder than Octo Canyon.
Okay. I'm having the most absolute worst luck in the world when it comes to this mode. I don't know what's going on, but it seems like everything that could possibly go wrong during Rainmaker is going wrong in this recording session. I do not approve of it one bit. Alright, first things first, you may notice.
So I guess this is probably good to also show off how I'm keeping track of all the online multiplayer stuff. To do this, I'm going to need to go into intermission screen real quick so I can pull up my notes without spoiling anything. Rubber notes, so there. Alright then. It's gonna take me a little moment to find the information I need. Okay, here we go. Alright. Go back into this screen. I put up a empty notepad to show this off. This is how I'm keeping track of all the stages we've seen already. And it's not exactly the easiest thing in the world, but this is something that I wanted to show off. This is how I'm keeping track of all the stages. So far, we haven't seen Port Macro yet, or Suchi Station, which is something we're not going to see for a very long time. I haven't seen Monta Maria or Walleye Warehouse yet. So my end goal with this Let's Play is to show off every online multiplayer mode in every stage, including Splatfest. So this is kind of a big thing to keep track of, so this is why I'm doing this right here. And so I believe the stage is which one is it? This one's Blackberry Skate Park, so we're showing off that this is indeed being played on Rainmaker. So now I know I still need footage of Turf for Tower Control and Clam Blitz for this mode. I do have a plan for those modes we haven't seen by the time we're done with Octo Canyon, because the thing is, Octo Canyon is probably going to be only a third of the entire Let's Play itself, because there's still a lot to cover in this game beyond that point. So that's something to just keep in mind. I'm also doing this for Salmon Run as well. I also have a list of things, like what stages we've seen yet, so far, what events we've seen, because I also want to show off every event on every stage. So that's something that's pretty exciting.
The central column in Blackberry Skate Park is no longer there because we're playing on Rank Battle and it disappears when you're playing on Rainmaker. I don't remember off the top of my head if it's in Splat Zones, except I do.
I need to turn down the volume for this.
Because we already record footage of that Bike Saga, and I remember...
While I'm doing that, I might as well also turn this down a little bit too. Because that was also a little loud.
Can I please play one round of Rainmaker that's not a complete disaster?
Alright.
Sorry, I'm just gonna see it right now. Okay.
I think it's a little too far.
On the Rainmaker shield. We even had 4 people destroying the thing, and nothing was happening. Then 3 people from the other team came along, and they destroyed it within 2 seconds. So I don't know what happened there. And then the other 2 matches I tried recording, I'm gonna bother using these footage because it's kind of ridiculous. But
what the heck?
A very pleasant.
What? What? Okay. This is a editing program that's built into Windows 10. I did not ask for this stupid update, much less in the recording. Go away. Oh my goodness. I don't like Windows 10's pop-up systems. It's weird.
I'm just gonna see it right now. Okay, just follow me. Follow me. Here we go. To the go. Come here, buddy old pal. Why are you over there? Why are you over there? Oh my goodness gracious, that's gravy. I made you a clear path and everything. I was watching her back. Okay, let's get back over here. Destroy you. You need to go away. You need to go away. You need to go away. Alright, does anybody have the Rainmaker? There's nobody there a moment ago. There we go. We have the Rainmaker. Okay. Goody. Goody, just hold on to it for a little bit. Okay. nervous, so my commentary may not be the best thing in the world right now, because I'm trying to concentrate on the game, and you probably heard my chair squeaking in the background. Okay, something I want to say is that I kind of hope that in the next Splatoon game, or whatever they do end up doing with the series, if Rainmaker returns, I kind of hope they do like a clan blitz route where you can pass along the Rainmaker to other people, because that'd be pretty interesting. You know, make it more like clan blitz, which is like 5 billion times better than Rainmaker. Okay. Use this to protect myself. Use the shield, the storm thingy to drive them away. Oh my god. Okay, there was a person right next to me and they didn't do anything to protect me. But at least we're in the lead now. At least we're in the lead. At least we're in the lead. Except they have the Rainmaker now. That's not very pleasant. Okay, at least spot them? Okay. If we can at least stall them, that'd be nice. Nice.
If only I had $1 for every time I said that during these Splatoon projects.
I swear, I should have a counter for every single time I've said that during all my Splatoon projects. That'd be way too much work because I've done a lot of Splatoon videos. Not just on my own channel, but just in general. I've done a lot of Splatoon stuff. Haha, you got stuck in a corner. Oh! Ah!
That's a big reason why I wanted to keep this footage, because...
What touched me? Oh.
Because that part there was just pretty funny.
Apparently that can still spot you even if it's covered in your own ink. Learn something new every day.
That was also the case in the first game, but I just forgot about that when I was recording this.
Alright then, you need to go away. You need to go away. You need to go away. Or just stay there and look funny. Or whatever. Alright, Rainmaker's right here. Rainmaker's right here. Follow me. Follow me. Follow me. Follow me. Follow me. Right there. Right there. Right there. Yes! Yes, finally! Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, that was nerve-wracking. My recording session is at 15 minutes and I finally won one round.
Yeah, that's how rough this recording session was.
Oh, brother. Okay, I'm gonna try to at least get past the yellow line during this recording session so that I don't end up losing my rank if I have another string of failed attempts at Rainmaker or anything like that. Crossing my fingers we can at least get past the yellow line, or at least be able to get into Mori Tower so that I can have footage for that stage 2.
So I stopped talking right there.
At least be able to get into Mori Tower so that I can have footage for that stage 2.
Alright, is this the footage I'm thinking of? I think it is. Yeah, this is the footage I'm thinking of. Okay. Alright then. I've also made a note for myself to edit in a turf war match that I wanted to show in the previous episode, but that video is already going on for a while, so you're not going to see me edit it in this stream, but off camera I'm going to also edit in other footage for Splatoon 2 event. I think actually now is probably a good stopping point for editing this video in particular. So what I'm going to be doing next is taking all that stuff and making like a little checkpoint for myself by doing that. Probably doesn't make sense for people watching the stream, but it's just my little system of remembering where I am when I start working on these projects. So let's transition to the intermission screen so that my secrets projects can remain a secret. They're a secret to everyone. That may or may not be a hint of what we're doing next. It totally is. Actually, you know what? We've been doing this for about an hour or so. So I think now might be a good time to take a break. So I'll be back here in about 10 minutes or so. So I'll see you guys in a moment.
has been yet. The real question to be asked, where have I been? I'm a shapeshifter at this masquerade, hiding both face and mind, afraid for you to draw. I'm a shapeshifter, what a should I be? But don't take off my mask, revealing dark. Moments of calm, nothing to be found. A mirror in front of me is where I find an empty glass, reflection that's the truth. It's every what's to be told. I need the mask. I'm a shapeshifter, apples masquerade, hiding both face and mind, afraid for you to draw. I'm a shapeshifter, chained up to my core, but don't take off my mask, my place to hide. Your bones, there's nothing inside. When it always me, burning down the walls, is that a way for me to break? I'm a shapeshifter at Boo's masquerade, hiding both face and mind, afraid for you to draw. I'm a shapeshifter, have no face to show. Please don't take off my mask, my disguise. Everybody ring dong dong, my words jang jang up. 눈에 너 헛거리 가라앉을 때, hey. 혼자의 맛이 일하는 때, 기분가 이때 이루. 心の
Alright, so now we're going to be getting to the Majora's Mask 3D portion of the stream. So, this project is completely blank, so let's change that. Let's add in the intro. I've saved all my intros over the years, I don't know why. And let's get the footage from Majora's Mask. Okay. We're gonna need the end screen footage. We're gonna need the file for episode 13 and 14, because that's what we're doing today. The nice thing about... It's not really all that nice. It does add a couple problems, but the thing with Majora's Mask is that because I have my editing system with that game, the commentary and the footage are recorded in the same file, and this can make it easy to sync up footage, but at the same time, it also makes it a little bit hard to work around because I need to be in a completely quiet place to record this one. And that's not exactly the easiest thing in the world right now. So, yay. Let's get the footage for that, and this is also going to be like doing like a little circly thingy while it loads. Eventually, when it's done processing, we can get to work. As soon as it's done. It's going to take a couple minutes because reasons. But while we do this, I will say that this is a story progress episode, so we're not going to see the process of editing side quests or things. But I will give you guys a quick tour on that if you want. I don't know if anybody's watching at this point because I know Pangarman left a moment ago, but I haven't checked the stream chat since then, so I don't know if anybody else is watching. But I'm going to give a very quick little tour on this thing. That's not the right one I wanted to click. There we go. Okay. So yeah, this is the list of side quests. This is my... I'm trying to say. This is my way of keeping track of the side quests and things we're doing. This right here is just a little mental note that I've made for myself to do the next recording session, which... Actually, I need to do that. I didn't record that footage yet, so... Just gonna make a little note for myself. If I need to do additional footage or anything like this, or anything like that, this is what I usually do. I just have a text thingy telling me, hey, dummy, you need to take care of this. Alright, so made a little note for myself on that. It looks like it's done. Yep, it is. Okay, so again, I don't know why this is a thing, but I gotta manually fit it to frame every time that I record this. So that's something that's not exactly the most pleasant experience in the world. And also, one thing I gotta say is that if I actually had a failed recording of this, I just kept in. So we're gonna be skipping ahead a little while. And then it'll just show us at the beginning of the next recording session. Slice it up, delete everything else, and go this way. I'm also going to put in a transition effect right there so it can look all nice and pretty. And this right here, I'm going to stretch this out a little bit so that it's easier to see when I go back to render this. But to make it so you don't have to look at that the entire time. Boom, haha, it's now invisible. Isn't it amazing? Alright, so back to the editing transition thingy. Cross dissolve. It's a little hard to see from this distance. We did it perfectly. That's cool. And a crossfade. Why not? Oh. Right, we need to see this project. Alright then, so this is mostly of a story episode, so there's not really much to see this time around. But I'll still edit a majority of the video at least. A majority. Majora's Mask. That's a pun.
Hello, lovely people of the world, Positive Gear to you, and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of...
I also just realized I didn't turn down my desktop audio for the stream. So let's take care of that real quick.
Zelda Majora's Mask 3D. In the previous episode, we explored a clock town, went to swordsman school, taught some ladies how to dance, and we helped a poor man in the restroom. And in today's episode, we're finally going to be making some story progress after we go shopping a little bit. The first place I want to go to is the trading post. We have been here before for showing off the scarecrow, but we never actually bought anything here before. So here you can buy things like a fairy, which will give you hearts if you die, a shield in case you lose it. We haven't encountered an enemy that can make you lose your shield, but we'll be coming up to them fairly soon. Some potions if you need them, items if you need them, but what I want to get is the arrows. And something else that I want to demonstrate is the fact that this guy has unique dialogue if you have the Gamera mask and the bomb mask. So let's go talk to him. My shop is so small, don't go dancing up a storm in here. And the bomb mask. Careful, don't go blowing yourself up in a place like this, I kid you not. I don't know how much unique dialogue he has for the different masks. Most of the time he'll say don't wear masks in here due to past indiscretions or things like that. But it's still pretty interesting. If I do find more, then I probably will demonstrate them if I don't forget. Look, why that mask? Oh, he has unique dialogue for the bomb mask too. That's interesting. We're expecting to get our larger bomb bag back in stock pretty soon. But now that I think about it, it's already late. What I want to come in here for is the bomb bag. Once you buy this, you'll be able to use bombs, and it is awesome. But that's not all that I came here for. I want to talk to this guy too. Did you come to buy a bomb? This is between us, but I have a huge bomb that the shop doesn't even carry. Oh, but my product is so FFV, I don't think you can carry it. I'm sorry I even brought it up. Aw, poor guy. The bomb he's talking about, we will come into contact with at some point during the Let's Play. But if we go over here, planned a moon trip experiment memo. Try using bomb-powered flight. If you look at the posters on this wall, he has like a detailed plan for going to the moon. And he even has the rocket prototype in his shop. This is an amazing detail that I love so much. I don't know why, I just love this so much. And a couple other details that are pretty worth mentioning are, first of all, there's a cow right here and a toy prototype of the rocket that he plans on taking. And you can also see drawings on here as well. So yeah, this guy's very dedicated to going to the moon. But you can also see some toys that Nintendo made before they were a video game company, and a Nintendo GameCube in the background. So that's a pretty interesting detail if I do say so myself.
So now let's jump cut over towards what we're doing next.
The detail if I do say so myself.
Slice it up, drag it over here, and put in some more of these things. Isn't that fun? I will say, I do appreciate that it takes less buttons to do that than it would on Movie Maker. Alright, let's check out the chat real quick. And Pink Garment's back. Yay! Hello again.
GameCube in the background, so that's a pretty interesting detail if I do say so myself.
You may notice why I keep backing up at those points. The reason why I do that is because I want to make sure that the video still looks decent and the sound still sounds decent when the transition happens. Because there are times where when a transition is happening, even though it's supposed to be fading out, there's a louder sound effect that appears suddenly that I need to trim off a few videos to get rid of. So, I could trim off a few seconds to get rid of, excuse me. So that's the reason why I do that.
As we're leaving town, another thing that I'd like to talk about is the third verse of the Song of Time. We've seen the regular Song of Time, as we've reset the time cycle a couple times, and we've seen the Song of Double Time, which will double the amount of speed time is passing, but we have not...
Okay, I think I just thought of a funny gag I could do for this area. I'm going to keep track of how many times I say the word time, and then I'll make a note for myself to add in a counter every time I say the word time.
As we're leaving town, another thing that I'd like to talk about is the third verse of the Song of Time. We've seen the regular Song of Time, as we've reset the time cycle a couple times, and we've seen the Song of Double Time, which will double the amount of speed time is passing, but we have not seen the inverted Song of Time, which is currently playing. You may have already noticed that the passage of time is already slowing down a little bit, so the Song of Inverted Time will slow down how fast the time is going. So this is great for story things if you need a bit more time to complete a dungeon, but I don't recommend it if you're going for side quests, because things like waiting for NPCs will take longer if you use the Song of Inverted Time. But now...
I counted 12 times I said that. Alright, so what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to add in another audio track. And... let's import another thing, but I'm going to hide the screen away from the stream because I like to keep my sound effects secret. Mostly just the fact that it's there's a lot of sound effects in here that would kind of be spoilers, so that's why I'm doing that. That's not the thing that I want to do. There we go. Okie dokie. Pet Garment says, in my latest Paper Mario, I cut out a few battles. Since the music doesn't cut when a battle begins in that game, it's pretty obvious to tell when I've cut a part out. Alright, so that's something that's... I can probably help you with that. There's a trick in HitFilm that lets you transition the audio. That can make you control how loud certain parts are. So if you press Control and left click on a part on the audio track on the white line, you'll be able to do something like this and make the audio gradually change.
As we're leaving town, another thing that I like to talk about...
So you can make it like fade in and fade out. So if you want to seem like a smoother transition, you could do something like that. So I'll put it in the chat for you to write down or something like that. It's Control left click on white line. That's not how you spell left or click. Typing on phones is weird. Alright, let's get rid of those things because I don't need them. And up here, probably don't need that note to be quite that big. For those of you just tuning in, this right here is just a little mental note that I made for myself because I need to edit more footage. I need to record more footage for this video. So let's get rid of that.
As we're leaving town, another thing that I'd like to talk about is the third verse of the Song of Time.
So this is a pretty interesting part because I'm going to show how I edit doing time counter things on here. So center and frame, move it upwards. Up here looks like it'll be the easiest part to read. This is a part that I always struggle with when it comes to the captions on these videos, is that I always have a hard time making it readable from the background to the foreground when you have captions on the screen. That's something I always have a bit of a hard time with. Okie dokie. So I'm going to copy that. And thankfully I can add a little sound effect right here.
In the regular song.
Delete that. Delete that, and do this. I counted 12 before, so I'm gonna throw in a couple things over here. That's not what I want to do. What? Why is that this one I want to copy? There we go. 1, 2, 3. That'll be good enough. How's that sound?
Third verse.
This needs to be a bold text as well. There we go.
Third verse of the Song of Time. We've seen the regular Song of Time as we.
Why is it doing that? There we go. I'm gonna turn off my touchpad mouse so it doesn't happen like that again.
The Song of Time. We've seen the regular Song of Time.
Alright, turn on touchpad mouse again. So if it gets suddenly quiet during this part, I need to concentrate on this.
Verse of the Song of Time. We've seen the regular Song of Time as we've reset the time cycle. Reset the time cycle. Reset the time. As we've reset the time. We've reset the time.
Okay, what the heck?
As we've reset the time cycle a couple times.
Why is it not copying? There we go. That's a little weird. Don't know why the copy wasn't working for a moment. So it's a little bit weird about HitFilm that suddenly the copy thing doesn't work.
Time. We've seen the regular Song of Time as we've reset the time cycle a couple times.
Yeah, but these just a little bit further.
Reset the time cycle a couple times. Regular Song of Time as we've reset the time cycle a couple times.
No, that's fine before. Is that better?
As we've reset the time cycle a couple times. Song of Time. We've seen the regular Song of Time as we've reset the time cycle a couple.
Okay, why is that not copying? I don't know what it is, but it seems to be taking a couple tries to copy the thing. That. Copy that a couple times. There we go. Alright. How's that look?
Song of Time. We've seen the regular Song of Time as we've reset the time cycle a couple times. And we've seen the Song of Double Time. The Song of Time. We've seen the regular Song of Time as we've reset the time cycle a couple times. And we've seen the Song of Double Time, which will double the amount of speed time has passed. Song of double time, which will double the amount of speed time is passing.
Right, that could be played just a little bit before.
Double time, which will double the amount of speed time is passing. But we have not seen the inverted song of time.
I counted 7 times we said it before. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That should be good enough.
The inverted song of time, which is currently playing, and you may have already noticed that the passage of time.
That kind of lined up perfectly with the other one down there. That's convenient.
Song of time, which is currently playing, and you may have already noticed that the passage of time is already slowing down a little bit. So
these are on here.
Slowing down a little bit. So the song of inverted time.
Oh my god. Unlike editing a counter and make you realize how repetitive your commentary can get.
The song of inverted time will slow down how fast the time is. How fast the time is going. So this is great for story things if you need a bit more time to complete a dungeon.
Ah. There we go.
Great for story things if you need a bit more time to complete a dungeon. But I don't recommend it if you're going for side quests because things like waiting for NPCs will take longer if you use the Song of Inverted Time.
Bank Armin says, I'm making a drinking game out of this. I hope you enjoy. Oh my goodness. Alright, let's see how the final version looks.
Is the third version of the Song of Time. We've seen the regular Song of Time, as we've reset the time cycle a couple times. And we've seen the Song of Double Time, which will double the amount of speed time is passing. But we have not seen the inverted Song of Time, which is currently playing. And you may have already noticed that the passage of time is already slowing down a little bit. So the Song of Inverted Time will slow down how fast the time is going. So this is great for story things if you need a bit more time to complete a dungeon. But I don't recommend it if you're going for side quests because things like waiting for NPCs will take longer if you use the Song of Inverted Time. But now, this is a Dodongo. It moves
Oh, that was pretty amusing.
take longer if you use the Song of Inverted Time. But now, this is a Dodongo. It moves slowly, so you should be able to circle around its backside. There's a couple strategies for fighting the Dodongo. You can attack its tail, or I can't wait to bomb some Dodongos. This one I instantly kill it, but 2 bombs should do the trick, or 3 bombs because I can't count, or 4. How many things does it kill? What the heck? Die! 5, 6. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness, 6 bombs to defeat that thing? I don't remember it being that much. Okay, so if we go over here, the exact notes there will be right here will always be different. But we can play the song. Y-R-R-Y-L-R-L-A-R. There we go. So playing the song that's on the wall right there will give
Pink Armand writes a bunch of drinking emojis. Drink!
you some rubies. It's pretty nice, but it doesn't give you a ton of rubies, so it's probably not all that worth it to come back here on a regular basis like it would be to get the treasure chest on top of the mini games in East Clock Town or something like that. So what do you want to do? Now that we have the fancy bow and arrow equipped, we can use the super amazing arrows to destroy the ice. Hey, I guess you could say we're breaking the ice of a new region. Ah, I'm not funny. Okie dokie, so we're going to be going this way and introduced to a new enemy. That's a blue Tektide. Use L targeting to follow it up as it bounces. It's not L targeting, it is Z targeting. That's the only method that I'll accept. That's the only term that I'll accept for describing that ability. L targeting, bleh. Z targeting, good. Alright, so the Tektites are a pretty interesting enemy. All they do is really bounce around. But their death animation is honestly kind of creepy. We can use the bombs to destroy those snowballs over there. And this brings me to something that I'd like to talk about real quick in terms of the bombs. There's a pretty infamous glitch, at least on the Nintendo 64 version of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Basically, how it works is, it's a little complicated and very technical, but I'll try to explain it as basic as I possibly can. But if you plant a bomb and do a back...
Pink Armand says that gators and puns kill butterflies. And James, not the magic butterflies!
Backflip with your shield equip.
Oh man, I really wish I could do another Let's Play where I could say Magic Butterfly on a regular basis. But if I were to Let's Play Earthbound Beginnings, that still wouldn't be a thing because Magic Butterflies didn't exist in Earthbound Beginnings. And I can't do that for Mother 3 because I haven't played that game and I've made a vow not to play that game until Nintendo releases it themselves.
Equipped, at just the right moment, Link can float around in the air. This is a huge trick that speedrunners use to beat the game quickly. I've never been able to pull this off at all, so I'm definitely not going to be able to demonstrate it for you people. And fun fact, I was originally thinking about doing like a speedrun episode where I try to beat the game in a speedrun, but I'm terrible at those speedrunning tactics, so that's the reason why that's not going to be a thing. But I will talk about speedrunning tactics when I do get the chance. We will not be saving our progress right here. Because that kind of screwed me over on a field recording and things like that. I had to replay through the past 2 episodes worth of footage a couple times.
Pink Armand says I've played Mother 3, just reminding you of that gator. Thank you, buddy.
But there's not much we can do in this area. There is a Goron back there we can talk to, but he's a need for a side quest, so we'll deal with that later. There's a mountain over there that we can't do anything with, and there's a passageway that leads off somewhere else that we can't do anything about right now. This is...
You played Mother 3 about 5 times. That's honestly really impressive. I know you beat Okami Den in like a couple days or something like that. I don't know how people play games for long periods of time, because I do love playing video games. But my limit is probably about 5 hours on a single game. So, yeah, I like playing a bunch of games at once.
the only way that we can go that really means anything at the moment. And as we go over here, we are introduced to my worst enemy. Not this guy, I like this guy. This is a white wolf wolf. We've seen a wolf wolf before, but we haven't seen this variety yet. Not very different, it's just a palette swap. I have no idea what happened there. Be destroyed, be destroyed, be destroyed, be destroyed, be destroyed, be destroyed. My skin nasty. Be destroyed, alright, there we go. And there's a dude right here we could talk to. He's frozen solid. He's one ancient Goron, isn't he? Could that be a hint at something we'll need to do later on? Intriguing. Alright then, let's go over here and kill Tingle. You survived. Oh, he survived.
What's this, Crinkles? Oh my name is Tingle. I'm the same as you, and I'm skipping over a dialogue because I don't like your stupid face.
So the reason why we're here is because I want to buy some of his maps. Snowhead and Romani Ranch, we're going to be buying both those maps, and we're doing that off screen.
Delete those and add a transition effect. Alright, what's the chat saying? Pink Armor says, whenever I get a game, I try to beat it as fast as I can, which is why it only takes me a few days to beat a game. If it's a game that I don't really like, or if it's a hard game, it takes longer. Tingle needs to survive for reasons. Tingle does not need to survive. Whenever I play a new game, I usually take my time on a first playthrough to try to get as familiar with the game as possible. Like, I believe Super Mario Odyssey, I did 100% that game in only a couple months or something like that. And I was going through that game as, not as slow as possible, but I was definitely taking my time with that one so that I could get to the feeling of the world a bit better. If you can beat a game within a couple days, then kudos to you, because that takes a lot of skill, and it's really impressive. I think the fastest that I've beaten a long game, I want to say Twilight Princess, because I think that only took me like 2 or 3 weeks to beat on my first playthrough, but I don't remember off the top of my head because it's been a while since I played through that game. Yeah.
Those maps, and we're doing that off screen.
Actually, you know what? I'm lied. Epic Mickey. I think that took me about a week or so to beat on my first playthrough.
Tingle, tingle, Kulalumba!
Alright, go away, Tingle. I'm sorry, I know people like Tingle. I'm just not one of those people. I can't help it. Just something about his face makes me want to punch it. Alright, now we're in Goron Village, but there's only one Goron over here, so let's go talk to you. It's cold. Being the gatekeeper in this cold is hard. Do you want to enter the Goron Shrine?
Big Government says, I remember when people claimed Odyssey had multiple endings. As far as I know, the game only has one ending. It feels like it has multiple endings is the thing, because when you beat the main story, it feels like it ends right there, but then as you go into the post-game, it feels like it has like 2 more endings as you keep going. It's one of those things where it feels like the game could have ended at this point, but it just keeps on going, which is pretty great. But as for alternate endings, Odyssey only has one definitive ending. But I know Breath of the Wild has 2 endings, which is something that's pretty neat. I like it when games have multiple endings, because it gives you a lot of chances for replay value. Epic Mickey is probably one of the better examples of that. Undertale is also a good example. Tokyo Mirage Sessions has an alternate ending. Link's Awakening has an alternate ending, and I just really like it when games do that.
Then I'll open the door with a Goron Pound. I'm gonna close it right away so it doesn't get cold inside, so hurry up and get in. Are you ready? The door's already open. I'm gonna close it right away, so hurry up. Change my mind. I'm not gonna go into town. Alright, so we will go into that village soon-ish. But there's something else over here that I want to take care of first. I mean, first of all, there's an owl over here. We meet again, fairy child. Have my stone statues been of help? Okay, there's something right here that I need to talk about that really bothers me. You can't see it right now because of the way that this video is being recorded and you can't really see the 3D effect, but something about the 3D effect right here is just really off. Because the fairy should be in front of the owl, but it kind of looks like it's inside of it. It's a little hard to explain, but when you play this game for yourself and you have the 3D turned on, check it out for yourself. It's really weird. It's really weird. Well, it seems you may have the strength and to change the fate of this land as I expected. But the road ahead is even more challenging. Many trials await you. Please watch over these Gorons around you. Their land is doomed to be smothered in snow and ice forever. It will become a land where no living thing can survive. Without courage and determination, you surely will collapse from the extreme conditions.
Alright, so fun story. This segment right here, I was originally going to include a part where when the owl said determination, I was going to flash on screen an Undertale character. But I decided against it because I figured it was way too obvious and wasn't really that funny to begin with, so you're welcome.
But if that courage and determination burns bright within you, then that's another story. So will you proceed? No! I shall pass no judgment. If that is their decision, then by all means go no further at this time. After retreat, courage returns. I always like that quote. But we'll talk to him if we can talk to him. Buddy. 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 Owl. Mr. Owlman. Mr. Owlman, let me talk to you. There we go. Hoo-hoo, you are a child of many strengths. Well, perhaps you do have enough strength to change the fate of this mountain after all. I shall take you to the air now, flying toward the shrine across the way, so follow behind me. Do not be daunted by appearances. Instead, let your feelings guide you, and the true path shall open before you. Are you ready? Follow behind me. The 3D effect in this area, however, is really cool. Like, the 3D effect on the Nintendo 3DS, it's not one of those things where, like, things are constantly popping out of the screen or anything like that. I don't think anything can actually physically pop out of the screen with the way the 3DS handles stereoscopic 3D visuals, but you can really tell the depth of this area, and it's just so cool seeing those feathers in the air. Again, it's not something that I can demonstrate in the video itself, but things like this are the reason why I always have the 3D cranked all the way up whenever I play 3DS games. Hoo-hoo, I have certainly been assured of your courage and determination. From here on, you must not be fooled by appearances. You must rely on your feelings. Now, enter the shrine. Something that will aid you in your quest lies within. Use that item in returning from here. But I'm going to blow up this boulder real quick because if we do that, as far as I know, this is the only boulder in this cave that has something like this. But there is a treasure chest in this area we can open up and get a purple ruby. Yay! What could it be? 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 You got the thing! You got the lens of truth. Seeing the truth drains magic power. So press the button again to stop looking and use it up magic. This is a cool item. This is the lens of truth, and I was I accidentally pressed the wrong thing right there. But this right here is the lens of truth, and we can't really see a whole lot of things in this room, but when we go outside, you'll know exactly what this does. When you turn it on, you'll be able to see invisible areas that you couldn't see before. And I gotta say, the HUD with the lens of truth, it looks really cool. Like, you got the purple circle around it, and you got the eyeball in the center. Oh, it just looks so cool. But as the owl implied, this drains magic power, so I'll switch over to the bottom screen real quick so you can see what they was talking about. It doesn't drain it too quickly, thank goodness, but you definitely want to keep it in mind, and you don't want to rely on the lens of truth too much. Can it be? Are you able to see me? If you truly can't see me, then follow behind me. So, a word of advice I can recommend right here if you want to conserve magic power. Turn off the lens of truth and rely on his shadow to follow him. I've played this game so many times, so I basically memorized the pattern he's going to be taking to go through this area. So, I don't really need to rely on it too much, but for the sake of helping you follow along, I'll turn on the lens of truth occasionally. I won't have it on all the time, but I will turn on just so you can have a bit of a reference point of where he's going to be located at. You can always see a shadow right there, and you can actually see a shadow before we even talk to the owl, which is kind of like your hint that there's going to be something there coming up pretty soon. I'm going to be ignoring you. Thankfully, if I remember... There we go, okay. Thankfully, when you get over here, the Goron Ghostman will wait for you to go over here. I'm really stumbling over my words right now. I apologize. Start over. He will wait for you before you move on to the next area, but turn on the Lens of Truth to get him to start moving again. I always like seeing that white wolf was kind of frozen in the air as the cutscene plays. There's something that I really like about games of this type, because whenever you talk to somebody, the entire world around you freezes, and it's just really funny seeing the results sometimes. Especially if you're fighting an enemy that can jump and they just like suddenly stop moving in the air, and it's awesome. Alright then. As I mentioned before, turn on the Lens of Truth when he's at the end of the path so that they'll continue on moving forward, because they will not move unless you can see them. Or at least when they're at the end of the path, if you know what I mean. Or whatever.
One thing that I've pretty sure I mentioned in a Majora's Mask video, but I'd like to bring it up real quick, or whatever. The lettering right here, it may seem like it's a little glitchy as it comes into screen, but I think I've explained what's going on with that before. For whatever dumb reason, on the 3DS, my capture card records the right eye of the 3DS screen, because how the 3DS does the effect is that it has like two screens and a series of things blocking one eye from seeing part of the screen, and that's basically how the 3D effect works. The 3DS capture card only records the right eye of the 3D effect, and I have my 3D turned on all the way whenever I'm recording these videos, but for whatever dumb reason, the right eye of the screen has like a little glitchy part of the text. I don't understand why that's a thing. So there's not really much I can do about that unless I turn off the 3D when recording these videos, and I'm not going to do that because I like the 3D effect in these games. There we go.
So if you want an idea of how much magic I've been saving, this is how much I've been using at this point. But as you can see, it really does drain the magic if you're not careful. But we still have plenty of magic, and we got the upgrade in the Woodfall Temple Stray Fairies, so that's pretty useful.
Another thing I'd like to bring up real quick is this setup right here, where I have the blah 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 blah, where I have the two screens on there. This was a setup that I had spent a really long time planning out when I was planning out my Majora's Mask 3D Let's Play. And this was figured out with the mindset that I'd be editing the entire Let's Play on Windows Movie Maker. I didn't have any idea that I'd be using HitFilm partway through the Let's Play. If I had known, I would have planned this out differently and would have had some of the bottom screen stuff displayed on the top screen. But I like how this setup is. I'm not disappointed that I didn't end up doing that, and I'm not going to change my setup right now to do anything like that. The reason why I like it right now is because I can pull it up on here real quick. I can have these two screens right here. This is basically how I'm doing it, where the top screen will record the top part of the 3DS. It's not displaying anything right now because of the way that because I don't have my 3DS plugged in right now. But there's also bottom screen and top screen thing. I'm not entirely sure how well you could see that while we're doing this. But I just realized I didn't have the right screen on when I was showing that off. Let's try it again. If I can get the thing on screen. There we go. Alright, so all I was trying to show is that I have a 3 screen set up for Majora's Mask 3D. The top one will record the 3DS top screen. This one just has both. It looks like this. And the other one will only record the bottom screen. This makes it easy for me to switch back and forth between all 3 layouts while I'm actively recording a video, which is something that's pretty nice. And that's kind of the reason why I'm sticking with this rather than trying to change the setup midway through the Let's Play, because I'm pretty comfortable with this setup and it makes it easier for me to edit the screens during the Let's Play. But future projects will probably be planned out differently with the mindset that I can edit the screens independently.
have plenty of magic, and we got the upgrade in the Woodfall Temple Stray Fairies, so that's pretty useful. From this point onward, we're gonna have to rely on this area. We won't be able to see a shadow or anything like that. So let's continue on over here. And something that I really want to test out real quick is, I know that in Twilight Princess HD, mashing the B button makes Link climb faster, but I don't know if that's the truth in this game. So, not going faster, going faster. Okay, so it is the case in this game. So we go over here, and the same trick as before applies here. You can mash the Lens of Truth button to conserve magic if you need it. So that's something that's pretty neat. This is the grave where a Goron hero rests. I came here to put up the great hero's memorial, but the return road has been blocked by snow, and I can't get back to Goron village. And even worse, my brother has been frozen solid from the cold. The way things are looking, I'll be frozen too. Oh, it's times like this that make me wish I had taken some hot spring water I found when I was digging the hero's grave. But the hot spring is now covered by the gravestone. I can't move a gravestone that big by myself. But I guess it's what it's meant by the Goron saying. There's no use in crying over split rocks. Now, can we talk to the frozen one? It doesn't look like we can.
Alright, Pink Armor says he's gotta go. Thank you for coming.
The Soaring One said the one who could see me would be arriving soon. It seems that turned out to be true. I am Darmani III. The blood of proud Goron heroes runs in me. This feels strange for me to say, but when I was alive, I was a renowned warrior and veteran. Yes, when I was alive. But alas, I am now dead. I was fine until I marched off to Snow White by myself, hoping that I could drive off a demon. It had been wreaking havoc on Goron village. Then the blizzard at Snow White blew me into the valley, and now, here I am. How infuriating. As I am, I can only watch as Goron village is slowly buried in ice. I may have died, but I cannot rest. So you can use magic. The Soaring One also told me that you're able to use it. I beg you, bring me back to life with your magic. If it is beyond your power, then I beg of you to do this for me instead. Heal my sorrows. Any way that you can do it will suffice. Please heal my sorrows. I leave my undying feelings with you. The deeds I accomplished while living are carved on my grave. You should read it. For the Goron village, I have asked for your assistance.
Alright, so I'm going to admittedly be a little bit of a jerk with the ending of this video, because the way that I'm going to end it on, I'm going to end it on a little bit of a cliffhanger. That's kind of the reason why I wanted to use this video for the stream. Alright, so I'm going to do a little trick where I'm going export this frame that basically takes a screenshot of the video. I'm really glad that I had the export frame on another computer monitor because it kind of opened up on a spoiler thing. So I'm glad that didn't happen. I'm gonna name this picture Moo. I like naming the pictures I use on these things. Pretty weird names. Alright, let's move it over there. Go on display, Windows mask, and let's open up Moo. So I'm gonna unlink this. Get rid of that. I'm gonna trim the video at the part where I start talking. And we can put in the end screen. So I usually have the end screen appear about 2 seconds after the video ends. Because that seems like a pretty good place to start it up on. Crossfade. Crossfade. Alright, let's see how that turns out. Perfect. Alright, so I was thinking about it and I decided that I'm gonna get rid of that note for myself. So, I'm gonna, what I'm trying to say. The note that I left right there was for checking out a cooler Easter egg that you can check out if you have the pig mask in Stockpot in restroom. But I think I'm gonna save that until next time we do Clocktown side quests. So I'm not gonna be worrying about that. Instead, we have 2 more videos we're going to edit during the stream, but we're going to go on a quick intermission for a bit. And then it's 8 o'clock right now, so let's go on break for about 10 minutes or so. So I'll see you guys in a moment.
いつきたくないどんな理由でも裏切られて傷ついても Always always 正直さを光と影正反対な私と違うあなたが知りたい Give me 結果のように Give me 太陽のように Give me もっと違う輝きが欲しくなる Give me その秘密 Give me こじ開けて Give me 手に入れたい何もかも欲しくなるほら早く Please give it to meもっと来るに私と違うあなたが眩しい眩しい Give me もっとキュートに Give me もっと来るに Give me もっと違う輝きが欲しくなる Give me もっとグッドボン Give me 好きよさま Give me 私にない輝きが欲しくなる今すぐに Please give it to me Please give it to me Please give it to me